It is 5:05 in the morning, and welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to another episode of I Tried It So You Don't Have To, Spirituality Edition. I don't know why I'm up at 5 in the morning. I woke up at 3 o'clock, but I think my guides woke me up to talk about this, and we're gonna get straight into it. We're talking about alchemy today, and what alchemy is, what alchemy does for you in your life, and the value of alchemy. As I did in the last episode, in the previous episode, and I will be doing in future episodes, this is a free space and a free community for you to have any beliefs and mindsets and truths that are your truths. So as always, take what resonates from this episode. Do not listen to me as if I am God, okay? Because I'm not. I am just a messenger, all right? I'm just trying to give you more knowledge and more information about what it is you are interested in. If you are not interested, please feel free to click off this video. You can do it immediately. You could even do it right now. 11:11, as I said that. 111. But it's okay. You don't have to like me. You don't have to like this channel. And if you have anything that you would like to say, or you feel that resonates, or any information or any questions that you need, you can drop those below in the comments. My name is Faith. I am a spiritual teacher. I am a trauma coach, a mindset worker, a light worker, an earth angel, a psychic. I'm still getting used to saying those words because I'm really starting to connect in more ways, and just getting comfortable saying that out loud is difficult, just because I felt so crazy almost my entire life when it came to spirituality until recently, a couple of years ago. So yeah, but that's me. We're gonna get straight into it. The second disclaimer I would like to add and offer is this may offend some people. What I'm about to say may offend some people. It may offend, you may take it personally. You may use it as a means to feel as though I am singling a person out. So I'm only going to share my experience based on what I know and what I feel as though is true about my life. I'm not saying that any of this you have to take as truth for yourself, okay? Because a lot of the things I'm gonna say will probably trigger you if you are not on a different level, or on a higher level of frequency at the moment, and you're still learning about what it means to be in spirituality and be in a spiritual journey. Yeah, those are the only disclaimers I have. Also, third one, I'm not an expert. I don't have any degrees or certifications. This is truly from my life experience. And as always, I am 24 years old. So if that bothers you, you can click off the video as well. I do not care. But yeah, there's so much knowledge that I'm about to drop on y'all. So I'm excited. Okay. We're gonna do the similar breakdown. Let's just start out with the basic definition. And this is not planned. This is just straight from the dome. So I'm gonna be all over the place like I was last time. As always, you can take notes if you're interested. And if you want to leave those notes in the comments for other people, you can. That would be great. Appreciate that. And if I spell alchemy wrong, that's gonna be real awkward, but we're just gonna act like it's okay. Okay. Alchemy. Oh my god, the freaking Sharpie. Okay. All right, what is alchemy? What is alchemy? What does alchemy mean? Well, what does it mean to me, technically? Alchemy, to me, is a transmutation of using your experience or using your trauma as a means to process it. It's basically like a chemical, if you're thinking of it on a scientific level, it's like you're turning something into something else. You're turning dirt into gold. You're turning fire into water. And to me, on a magician level, on a witch level, on a woo-woo level, of spirituality. You're turning your pain and you're turning it into passion. You're turning your trauma and you're creating purpose with it. I am a firm believer, this is when y'all might get triggered, I am a firm believer that the reason we experience pain, trauma, any type of situation we consider as bad, we experience those things for a reason, okay? And it's not to say that you deserve those things. I'm not saying that at all. I'm not saying you deserved it. I'm saying that you might have made a contract and you might have forgot about it. You might have made a soul contract before you came down here and you might have forgot about it, okay? And I know that sounds a little bit crazy too, but I'm gonna explain a little bit more. Okay, 555. Ooh, and the next one's gonna be about angel numbers and numerology. So if you are excited about that one, like this video and let me know in the comments. Okay. So I'm gonna give you a little bit of background on my life for a second here, because I feel like it has so much to do with what I'm talking about. And I also do wanna share, so I don't know if you're into divination cards, if you're into tarot cards, but this card, if I can find it in the book, I just got this book, it's so pretty. Where's it at? Here we go. Temperance. This is the Temperance card. It is also an identification with Sagittarius. If you're a Sagittarius, this video might be for you. I'm a Sagittarius rising, so I'm just gonna read this really quick just to give you a little bit of insight, because it kind of explains what I'm trying to explain as well. A witch hovers over the water with 1 foot on land and 1 above the surface. Inside a complex biosphere of manifestation is the archetype of temperance. Temperance is often interpreted literally as the word of moderation, restraint, and abstinence, yet the moment you lock eyes with her, you cultivate richer meaning. Temperance intermingles possibilities with her cups. She merges life and death energy. Can we just stop there for a second? She merges life and death energy. I think we struggle as humans so much with understanding that if life was good all the time, it wouldn't be good. There has to be a balance to things. There is no light without darkness. There is no light without darkness. There is no peace and calm without chaos. A lot of the time we try to run from the things that we are afraid of, that we are scared of, because it registers to us in here as bad. And a lot of the time it registers to us in here as bad because it doesn't feel good. And initially when things don't feel good, what's the first thing you try to do? The first thing I tried to do, well, at least tried to do, was run. The second was hide. And the third was fight. Fight back, argue, sit in my ego. And when we do this, when we react from this way, my bad, y'all, I ran out of storage. Anyways, when we when we run from this feeling, we don't realize that this moment is trying to teach us something. This moment is trying to give us something. And I know it's even harder to recognize this when you are a child, when you're experiencing things like this, when you are so innocent and you literally did nothing and you keep experiencing traumas that you didn't necessarily, like you didn't deserve that shit, but it still came to you, right? And it's very hard to understand why. Because I always used to ask myself the same question. Why are you doing this to me, God? I used to hate, and I mean highlight, capital H, hate God, because I was constantly faced with trauma and I did not know why. I did not understand why. And then a little bit down the road, here we are, and I understand everything now. It all makes sense. Okay, so this is the triggering moment right here. we go through these things because it pushes us to a point, a breaking point of where we realize we have to pivot. We have to move because it doesn't feel good, right? It's like we have this level of pain tolerance, and the universe is like hitting the line and saying, okay, you gotta pivot. And if you don't pivot, if you don't move when God tells you to move, he's gonna punch that shit up here. He's gonna push it higher because he knows you won't be able to take that pain. That pain would be too much for you, and it will cause you to shift. It will cause you to change. How do I know this? I have learned from experience, okay? I'm not gonna get into grave detail about my life story, my backstory, but I have been sexually abused, mentally abused, physically abused. I have been in terrible relationships. I have attempted suicide multiple times. My dad has died. My brother has died. I've experienced so much, and yet I am still here. Yet I am still here, still smiling. How is this possible? How is this possible? And how am I leading a life that I now love and living in the present and being here and not living in that pain? How am I doing this? This is what I want to share with you. My dad died in November of 2022. This was the pinnacle moment for me where I no longer had a safety net. I no longer had somebody to constantly run to for advice, for, I'm lying, honestly, because, okay, let's give a shout out to him really quick. This was my man. Yes, he had his definite ways of being very stubborn and ignorant like any other parent or person in the world. But he was my rock for quite some time. I want to give a shout out to my mom too. She had to experience a lot of bullshit with that man. Anyways, what am I trying to say? Okay, so when he died, I really had no idea what I wanted to do, what I was going to do, how I was going to support myself. I was in such a place of like mental disarray and mental distress that I did not know how to grieve that on top of everything else I had experienced. And it wasn't just a regular old schmegular death. It was a straight up murder, like straight up murder. And I'm laughing because I've healed from this. Like, I'm not saying it's okay. Like, it will never be okay. It was never like, oh, you know, but I accept it now. I accept it for what it is. I accept it for what it has taught me. And I will say one thing here. I do not regret that moment happening. If I could go back and change it, this would piss a lot of people off of my family. But I'm going to be honest. If I could go back and change it, I wouldn't. Because it was meant to happen. It has changed so many people's lives. It has put a fire under my ass like no other. And I know that's true for so many other people because he was so connected with the community. He was so deeply enthralled and making a change in other people's lives. And now that he's not here, they have to support themselves. They have to learn how to do that. And that's a beautiful thing. That is a beautiful thing. And crazy enough, his spirit, I feel his spirit all the time. All the time. So it's really like it's not like he's gone anyway, if that makes sense. Like, I don't physically see him, no, but I feel him almost every single day now. It's a really cool experience. But I'm getting off track. So when I say this, I don't regret him passing away. I don't regret my brother passing away. I don't regret me experiencing RAPED. I don't regret it. Why? Why would I say this? Because it shaped me into the person that I am. I had to go through those experiences, just like you had to go through those experiences, those hard, difficult experiences to learn something from it, to build character. It's as simple as that. And it's not, I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying it's okay. It's not okay what you had to experience, but it's something you had to learn to accept in order to create this beautiful, loving, strong person that you are now from experiencing what you went through. Okay? And I know when it comes to experiencing deep, heavily rooted trauma, it does not feel like that initially. Hell no, it doesn't feel like that initially. It's so painful to experience grief on that level. It is so painful. And the healing takes time. It's not gonna feel like that initially. You are human at the end of the day, okay? You're allowed to feel what you need to feel. You're allowed to experience what you need to experience. But what am I trying to say here? Alchemy. What does this mean? What does alchemy mean? It means using the pain that you're experiencing. Let's say we're gonna do figures today. We're gonna do a small example instead of a heavy one too, since I don't want to like piss people off. Okay, let's say this person right here is pissed off. He's mad. He's miserable. He hates his life, right? So he starts talking to this guy, the one who's just chilling, just relaxing, just vibing. And he shoots off misery to him, projections to him, insults. And let's keep in mind, this has nothing to do with this dude who's just standing here. He has nothing to do with what's going on. Nothing, right? So what is this dude trying to do? He's trying to spread his emotional poison to this guy. Because he needs, that's how he gets off. Technically, that's alchemy too. It's like a way of trying to release that pain from your body. But instead of transmuting the pain, you're transferring it to somebody else. So that's emotional poison, right? And when he does this, when he tries to do this, this person has two options. One, he can get upset. He can shout back at him. He can cuss him out. They can fight. We don't know the situation. What if they end up fighting, right? Or he can not take it personally, use it as an experience to grow, and lastly, ask himself, why? Why did this situation upset me? Why did this situation upset me? If you ask yourself that in multiple situations, even if it's not your fault and it has nothing to do with you, why are you getting mad? You're gonna learn a lot about yourself when you start asking those questions. Why am I getting upset? If I know that he's spouting bullshit to me, why am I getting mad? What's this got to do with me? And then you start uncovering things that you need to work through, to heal through, okay? But when a person decides to do option number 2, this is alchemizing. This is a very, very small example of what you can do when you alchemize. This is a very small example of what you can do in your day-to-day life of alchemizing. It's like you can take the experiences that you have in this life and you can see them. This is your perspective, okay? And you can see them as negative or as positive. It is your choice. It is your decision. But when you have these experiences that are considered bad, right? Like, I can give you an example. The last 2 weeks, I just had like major surgery on my wisdom teeth. I had to get 5 teeth removed, 1 cavity, 5 wisdom teeth. I literally got a yeast infection from my antibiotics. I got vaginitis. This is TMI, by the way, trigger warning. I got all of these things, right? But I used them as a tool to push me where I needed to go. The universe, God will never do something to genuinely try to hurt you. Yes, it may hurt you temporarily, but that's just what pain is. It's temporary. So why did that happen to me? Because I needed to rest. Because I needed to rest. And this has been an issue. This mouth issue has been an issue for years that I did not catch up to. I did not get to. So God said, you know what? I'm going to make the pain so unbearable that you have to go get it done. Oh, you know what? You want to clear your throat chakra? You want to stop smoking? I got you. You won't be able to smoke. You won't be able to have any sex. You'll have to heal that part of you too. It's like the things that you experience, you have to take them with a grain of salt. You have to. And when you really see it from this perspective, when you decide to choose the light instead of the darkness, you transmute your pain into something greater than what you even know. And not only do you do that, but you create a momentum in your life. I don't know if y'all saw the last video, but we're gonna do a recap really quick. This is how everybody lives. Life is cyclical. And I will say this until the day I die. Life is cyclical. This is what you experience day in, day out. Right? A cycle. You experience a cycle. You either experience happiness, peace on a regular basis, and not based on your experiences, because sometimes even then, I choose happiness every day. It's a choice, okay? Or you choose misery. And this can vary. I'm not saying this stays the same, but it will keep you in the cycle. So if you choose this cycle, it will keep you in the cycle, right? You'll stay in the cycle. Of course, there will be things that bounce you out of this cycle and kind of bring you down here. But then you always remember to come back to where you are. The same thing with misery. If you are trying to break out of the cycle of misery, things are going to get worse for you before they get better. They are going to get worse before they get better. That's just what it is. That's just the truth. And it gets worse for you to learn something. It's for the alchemy. And you're not going to understand this if you're distracting yourself from it. You're not going to understand this if you don't have the mindset to actually write it down and ask yourself questions about it. You're just going to get frustrated and you're not going to understand why. Who wants to live like that? Who wants to live in constantly not knowing what the fuck is going on? Not me. I don't feel like you do either, because you wouldn't be here watching this video still. So what I'm saying is, if you want to break out of the misery cycle, you have to stay out of the cycle continuously. And I'm not saying you can't process your emotions. That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm saying when you decide, like when something comes up and you decide to change your mindset, like, oh my God, these are very real things too. Life is hard. Like this is not easy shit to work on. This is not easy. This takes time, okay? So do not give yourself grace when you're doing this. Please give yourself grace. Don't be hard on yourself, because the harder you are on yourself, the more you're pushing yourself away from loving yourself to the fullest. And honestly, that's the most important part of all of this, is to love yourself. Because God really just wants you to love yourself as much as they love you. I don't call God a he, because but that's not this part of the episode. But love yourself, okay? So allow yourself to feel what you need to feel. But work through those emotions, because the more you work through them, it creates a momentum to break you out of that cycle and get into that happiness momentum. And yeah, that's what being an alchemist is. That's what being a manifestor is. It's recognizing that things may come up in your life. Things may trigger you. Things may hurt you very, very, very badly. And you always wonder, how can I come out of this? And when you decide to actually start questioning that, trust yourself. Trust where your mind takes you. Trust where you allow yourself to go, explore that feeling. Because when you are exploring what it means to be an alchemist, what it means from turning your pain into passion, how do you do that? And I can't give you a direct answer, because it's really just within the mind. It's really your journey. But I can show you what it does. What it does. This is what it does. It creates the best version of you that you want to experience. You know, that person, that dream self you always think of, like, oh, I want to be this person so bad. That's who it creates. When you stop running from the things that bother you, that trigger you, that distract you, and you focus on the bad things, and you work on those things, and you don't cover yourself with band-aids anymore, and you allow yourself to feel what you need to feel and process what you need to process, and actually heal from those experiences, and actually move away from those experiences, and stop looking at the past as if it's your future now, you will truly transform your life. Truly. Okay? I hope this helped. Let me know in the comments if it resonates. And I'll see y'all probably not next week, but no, yeah, next week. I'll see y'all next week. Bye, y'all.